The movie begins in a location in the middle of Korea. A large building is engulfed in flames, and a firefighter named Hong jumps from the building, trying to save someone. His rope burns due to the intense heat, causing him to fall rapidly to the ground, missing the safety mat. He sees his whole life flash before his eyes, but to his surprise, he wakes up after saving the little girl from death. He gets up and runs toward the girl's family to check if she was hurt, but no matter how much he speaks, no one responds. Suddenly, he hears a voice calling him from afar and sees two people in formal suits smiling at him amidst all the chaos. Hong tries to warn them to stay away from the collapsing areas, but then he notices the firefighters trying to rescue a man who looks exactly like him. A woman named Chun tells Hong that he was a hero before he died and that they are here to help him through the 7 trials. The second guardian, named Mac, says their leader is waiting at the gate of judgment and they must go now. Hong, still confused by everything, walks slowly as he watches his colleagues mourning over his body. He screams that it can't be true, that he can't be dead. He still wants to see his mother. But his body begins to float into the air, heading toward a massive gate. Hong keeps screaming that he wants to see his mother, and the Guardians are moved by the fact that he still cares for her even after death. They arrive in another realm, where thousands of souls are heading toward the gates of judgment. There, Hong meets the leader of the Guardians, named Lim, who has helped 47 souls be reincarnated over the past 100 years. When the leader congratulates Hong for being a hero, Hong turns away and refuses the praise, saying he's never been a good person. They enter the gate of judgment and are transported to a terrifying place filled with lava called the Mountain of Murder. Mac is shocked by the sight and immediately asks Hong if he has ever killed anyone before, but the man denies ever doing anything that terrible. Lim explains that causing someone's death indirectly is also punishable, which might be the reason Hong is here. They reach an arena with giant gates on the ground that open to reveal a massive pit of lava. The punished souls try to escape but continue burning in the sea of fire. The prosecutors begin the trial by accusing Hong of not saving one of his colleagues when he had the chance, which ultimately led to the man's death. They demand that Hong be punished in the lava pit for 5 years to atone for not saving his partner. Lim defends him and asks to review exactly what happened during the incident. It turns out that Hong did everything in his power to rescue his colleague, but they couldn't move the large stone trapping the firefighter. When he realized the situation was hopeless, his teammate told him to leave and save the civilians instead. Because of Hong's decision, Lim argued that his bravery in saving others should be considered in judging his choice to leave his partner. After witnessing Hong's courage in helping others, the judge decides to acquit him of the charges and allows him to proceed to the remaining trials. Even though Hong wins the first trial, he is deeply affected by the memory of his colleague's death. He asks why the Guardians are helping him now, as he still doesn't believe he's a hero. It is then revealed that the Guardians have their own motives. They made a deal with the King of Hell, named Yamra. If the 3 of them can help 49 deceased souls pass the trials and be reincarnated within a century, they will be allowed to become human themselves. After that, they arrived at the court of Sloth, where Chun explained all the deeds Hong had done. The man had never been lazy in his life. He was always helping people wherever he could. He was so hardworking that he once ran into a beehive, causing his entire team to be stung for hours. Another time, he rescued an annoying cat from the edge of a building and ended up destroying a Lamborghini in the process. The judge was so touched by Hong's efforts that she ordered the prosecutors to build a statue in honor of the hero. But when she asked why he lived his life this way, Hong replied simply, "For the money." Upon hearing his answer, the judge immediately changed her ruling and ordered the prosecutors to take him for punishment. There, he encountered a giant machine that chased people guilty of sloth, crushed their bones, and fed them to the fish. The Guardians did everything they could to help him and pleaded with the judge to take a deeper look into his life. The truth was that Hong worked tirelessly to save money for his sick mother and his brother, who wanted to attend law school. He worked so hard that he neglected his own health, and his love for money wasn't driven by greed. Once the judge understood his true motivations, she ruled that Hong was not guilty. He simply wanted to help his family. The group quickly boarded the boat that would take them to the next destination, but before they could celebrate, they noticed a swarm of monsters chasing after them. The team drew their weapons and fought to defend themselves from the creatures. They managed to cut down many of them, but in the end, their leader fell off the boat and barely held on. Mac had to protect the boat by himself, giving the leader a chance to recover. At the last second, Mac struck a giant stone pillar, causing rocks to collapse and finally saving them from the monsters. He explained that such an event could only happen if someone from Hong's family had died and become a vengeful spirit. To prevent more monsters from chasing them in the future, Lim decided to visit Hong's family to uncover the truth. He went to Hong's house and discovered that the mother was still alive, which meant that the one who died and became a vengeful spirit was Hong's brother, Su. The dark energy tried to escape, and the guardian immediately gave chase. Lim tried to stop the spirit by attacking it with his weapon, but the ghost managed to dodge and move behind them. Eventually, they collided, sending Lim flying, which allowed the spirit to disappear while Lim desperately searched for another chance. He tracked the spirit to a military base, where he overheard a soldier talking about Su, referring to him as a deserter. Stranger still, the commander and one of the soldiers clearly seemed to be hiding something. Lim disguised himself as an army officer and started questioning the commander about Su, accusing him of being responsible for his death. Shockingly, the commander began blackmailing the guardian out of fear, further confirming his guilt. Meanwhile, Hong was being tried in the court of deception, accused of forging multiple wills for the family of the colleague he failed to save. He had given those documents to the man's daughter and lied to her by pretending to be her father. The court immediately ordered him to be restrained and prepared to punish him by cutting out his tongue. Fortunately, Lim managed to communicate with his team telepathically and stepped in to defend Hong's actions. It turned out that Hong had also written false letters to his mother, lying about his successful life and newfound wealth. Lim argued that all of this was Hong's attempt to comfort the people he cared about, offering hope that didn't exist in reality just to help them go on. Once they realized that Hong's lies were meant to give people a reason to live, the court forgave him, since his intentions weren't to harm anyone. After the trial, Lim lied to Hong and told him his family was fine. But soon after, he privately told the team the truth about Hong's brother. Lim then went back to the past to see what had really happened on the night Su died. He discovered that Su had been accidentally shot by his fellow soldier, Dong, after the safety on his gun was switched off. Dong had immediately contacted the commander, but instead of trying to save the dying man, the officer decided to bury Su and cover up the evidence to avoid losing his promotion. When Lim looked at Su's body, he was shocked to realize that the man hadn't actually died. This triggered memories from Lim's past, when his own father had also been buried alive. At the same time, Hong arrived at the Hell of Injustice, a place where people are frozen for years to pay for their crime of not helping others. But since Hong had worked as a firefighter, he was exempt from judgment there, and they allowed him to move on to the next place. During the journey in the hanging cart, a secret was revealed. All the Guardians had their memories erased, except for their leader, Lim. Mac tried to stop his teammate from revealing too much, but accidentally let slip to Hong that his brother was actually the Vengeful Spirit. Upon learning the truth, Hong's unstable emotional state shook the entire world, shattering the hanging cart and nearly sending them all falling into the abyss. But Hong managed to hold on at the last moment and offered to help his 3 companions. Eventually, they arrived at the Hell of Betrayal, where a beautiful judge punishes those who betrayed their loved ones by trapping them in mirrors and letting the victims shatter them. Fortunately, Hong had been a true hero in his life and had never betrayed anyone, so he was allowed to pass through safely as well. Meanwhile, Lim found the Vengeful Spirit in the ghostly city of Malhalili, where it was trying to kill one of the soldiers who had buried it alive. The Guardian ran after the spirit, and they fought endlessly in midair as they flew across the city. Lim managed to trap the spirit with a magical rope tied to a building. He pleaded with it to forgive those who had wronged it, so it could be reborn, otherwise it would be destroyed forever. But the spirit only remembered the pain of being buried alive and the betrayal by its closest friend, which made it scream in rage and break free, releasing a massive shockwave. Elsewhere, Dong, after drinking heavily, could no longer bear the guilt. He finally gave Su's mother the map that revealed the location of her son's body. As she unfolded the map, she saw where her youngest son lay. Su, now a spirit, watched everything from behind his mother. The vengeful spirit returned to Lim and told the guardian it had decided to forgive Dong after seeing the soldier's confession and how he had guided Su's mother to the burial site. Su pleaded with Lim to act as a mediator, as he wanted to speak with Dong one last time, promising he would resume the trials afterward. Speaking through Lim, the spirit told Dong that it forgave him and that he should no longer shed tears over something from the past. At the same time, Hong reached the hell of violence. There, he saw a massive pit they had to jump into to continue the trials. He fell into the giant hole and slammed into a large rock, but Mike managed to grab his teammate and land beside him. However, Hong accidentally slid toward them and collided with them, sending them all falling again toward the bottom of the pit. Mac rushed after them, and Hong managed to catch the girl and try to save her from falling, just as he had done before his death. In a surprising twist, their fall stopped just before they hit the bottom. Then the trials of violence began. The prosecutors accused Hong of hitting his younger brother during high school. Such an act could not be forgiven, especially considering the boy was malnourished due to the family's poverty at the time. The truth was, Hong never apologized after their fight. He had run away from home the next day and never returned. The judge quickly ruled that Hong was guilty of violence against his family and planned to throw him into the pit, where people are punished by being stoned repeatedly. When Shun saw that Hong was about to be sentenced, she urgently asked the judge to delay the ruling and combine this case with the final trial, as the two were connected. It was a dangerous strategy, as it required the Guardians to give up their power in the afterlife. If Hong were found guilty in the next trial, they would lose everything. Unfortunately, the guards learned the truth about what happened on the night of the fight. Su woke up after seeing his brother kneeling in front of their mother, and he asked to know what Hong was doing. But he discovered that the boy was trying to kill their mother with a pillow. Su immediately tried to stop his brother, which made Hong eventually drop the pillow and continue beating the younger boy in anger. It turned out that Hong was feeling extreme despair at that point in his life because their family was very poor and his mother was extremely ill. The only way he believed would end their suffering was death and nothing else. This was also the reason why he later felt immense guilt. So he ran away from home and never returned to his family again. After the guards heard this, they lost hope when they realized there was no way to win the trials now, especially in the hell of parental neglect during the final trial. At the same time, Rim was trying to bring Su to his body so that his soul could finally begin its journey to reincarnation as well. When they arrived at the military camp, Su was shocked to find his mother there, begging the soldiers to give her son's body. The army commander saw this, ran toward the lady, tore her banner to pieces, and pushed her to the ground, which caused her to faint from exhaustion. Su saw his mother being humiliated by those who had killed him, and he was filled with rage. He quickly transformed into the vengeful spirit he had been before. He broke free of his chains, grabbed the guard, and threw the man away with immense force. Su's anger grew so intense that he turned into a massive whirlwind, swallowing all the soldiers in the area and opening a gate to the afterlife itself. The vengeful spirit threw everything around him, creating horrible chaos, and Rim was desperately trying to save everyone from being killed. Fortunately, Mac managed to rush into the living world through the gate and came to Su. He shattered the giant statue and stunned the enemy. Rim seized the opportunity and attacked as well, using the magic rope to restrain Su, finally stopping the destruction. At the same time, Hong's trial began on the other side when King Yamra himself decided to be the judge in the case. Yamra accused the man of attempting to kill his mother and beating his brother during such a difficult time. The king also revealed that Hong's mother actually knew about her son's attempt to kill her, but chose to remain silent, hiding this cruelty in her heart, which made his crime worse. Yamra decided to punish Hong forever in hell for attempting to commit the worst thing possible, killing a mother. Suddenly, the whole world began to shake when a voice began speaking to Hong's mother. It turned out that Rim used his power to allow Su to speak to his mother in a dream, and the son apologized for his brother's actions. Su told the lady that Hong had worked non-stop for 15 years to help them after that night, feeling guilty for what he had done. The surprise was that the mother revealed she had forgiven her son long ago and apologized herself for not being able to provide for her children. Hong heard this and broke down in tears. Even the king himself was moved by what the family had been through. Yamura decided that he could not accuse Hong of his crimes since the victim had forgiven him long ago, so he allowed the man to be reborn. Hong heard this, thanked Shun, and thanked all the guards for their help on the journey before disappearing into the bright lights. In the human world, Rim decided to bring Sue as reincarnation number 299. They planned to strike a deal with the king, so they too could be reborn. The group reached the hell of parental neglect, facing a large number of demons, and they attacked the enemies to open the path to the king of hell himself. And that's the end of the film, until we meet again in another recap. If you love movies and movie recaps, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more. Hit like if you enjoyed the video and share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.